Welcome to the Ben Mulroney Show on this Tuesday, June 24th. Thank you so much for joining us. You may be watching us on YouTube, in which case I wave at you and I say hello, or you may be finding us on a streaming app, on a podcast platform, or on the good old-fashioned radio. The Iranian question, the Iranian situation is one that is dominating the headlines. And, you know, we could go into the back and forth and the minutiae of what's going on, but I think I want to look at this today through the lens of the Donald Trump of it all, because it was very curious in the early days of Israel's offensive into Iran, when they were decapitating the leadership, both of the military as well as the brain trust that was spearheading Iran's aggressive push to get themselves a nuclear weapon. In those early days, Donald Trump was apprehensive, and he was not sitting on the sidelines, but he was definitely pleading for a diplomatic solution. But once he saw how effective Israel's offensive was, he sort of injected himself into the conversation, sort of, I won't say rewriting history, but highlighting his influence over the dynamic. So he made it sound like he was directing this thing to a certain extent and highlighting the military contribution that America had given Israel so that they could prosecute this offensive against their enemy. And then once they got past a certain point, once they crossed the Rubicon, so to speak, that's when he decided to take pretty drastic measure, despite what he had said in the past, and he authorized the bunker busting bombing of a number of their highly fortified military and nuclear installations. And this was much ballyhooed and celebrated by Donald Trump himself. And a lot of us believed that this was going to be a level set. You know, if you take it down to the individual level, it's sort of like two people fighting at a bar, and one guy just clocks the other guy, and he lands on the ground, and the guy standing above him says, "All right, can we calm down now? Can we calm down? Do you realize that you're on the ground and it's over? Can we stop the sniping and the chirping and the fighting?" That's what a lot of us felt was going to happen, or hoped was going to happen. And I think that's what Donald Trump hoped was going to happen, because yesterday he posted on his Truth Social, "Congratulations to everyone," in all caps. "It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire," all caps, "in approximately 6 hours from now, when Israel and Iran have wound down and completed their in-progress final missions, for 12 hours, at which point the war will be considered ended. Officially, Iran will start the ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire, and upon the 24th hour, an official end to the 12-day war," Donald Trump named it that, "will be saluted by the world." And he goes on, "God bless everyone. God bless the world. Signed, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States." And I don't think it will surprise a lot of people that, was there a ceasefire? If there was it going to hold? I think a lot of us probably said, if past is prologue, probably not. And sure enough, both sides have traded at least some significant missile volleys and some attacks, to which Donald Trump was not happy. And he sort of this morning said, "Israel is not going to attack Iran. All planes will turn around and head home while doing a friendly plane wave to Iran. Nobody will be hurt. The ceasefire is in effect." Well, that's not necessarily the case. And Donald Trump is none too happy about it. Now, I'm going to play some audio for you, but and he's mad as hell, and he's not going to take it anymore. He speaks in very unpresidential ways, maybe Donald Trump ways, but not ways we expect a president to speak. We're not going to air the whole thing for you, but for context, there's a number of things he's angry about. He's angry that his ceasefire didn't hold, and he looks a little foolish for having said it would. But he's also, I think, probably even more mad that the American press, specifically MSNBC and CNN, have been positing that the B-2 bombing of the nuclear facilities that look devastating did not set the nuclear ambitions of Iran back as far as he had indicated. There is reporting that is skeptical of the results, the effectiveness of the attack. And that, I think, is the thing that POs him the most. And I think that is bleeding into his lack of patience for Iran and Israel. So with that as background, let's listen to the President of the United States and how he sees the state of play.
I think they both violated it. I don't think I'm not sure they did it intentionally. They couldn't rein people back. I don't like the fact that Israel went out this morning at all, and I'm going to see if I can stop it. So as soon as I get away from you, I'm going to see if I can stop it. Okay, Iran will never rebuild its nuclear. From there, absolutely not. That place is under rock. That place is demolished. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Yeah. Listen, I appreciate the emotion, and I like it when people speak plainly often. If you go and listen to the entire recording, you will absolutely, I think you'll fall in line with my thinking, which is that he's more upset about the press that he's getting. He was demanding an apology by MSNBC and CNN to apologize to the B-2 bombers, the pilots, for the hard work and dedication that they demonstrated in their jobs. And I think that informed his anger in that moment. But there are some people who are very happy with what he has to say, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, everybody's favorite advocate for Jewish space lasers, who reacted to that line and said, quote, "Inject this directly into my veins," with fire emojis, because that is how congressmen and congresswomen speak in the United States. And not for nothing, but I found out what I don't think everybody knows, that prior to becoming a congressperson, do you know what Marjorie Taylor Greene did? You know what her job was? She ran a CrossFit studio. That's what nothing wrong with people who run CrossFit, and they are, in a lot of cases, alphas. But that's a heck of a leap to go from running a CrossFit gym to becoming a U.S. member of Congress. So there you go. Marjorie Taylor Greene is here for that. Now, you heard what Donald Trump said, and Canada's voice in this is marginal at best. You know, we are a side until we beef up our military. We're sort of just chirping from the cheap seats. That being said, going on record is important. And our Prime Minister, Mark Carney, is in Europe right now for the NATO summit. And he sat down with CNN's Christiane Amanpour, and he gave his assessment of the U.S. bombing of Iran's nuclear facilities. Let's have a listen.
I would lean towards President Trump's interpretation of it. The military action was also a diplomatic move by Iran. It was, we never welcome, obviously, hostilities and reactions, but it was proportionate. It was de-escalatory. It appears to have been previewed, which allowed, and they're Canadian soldiers at the Qatari base as well.
Did you get them out of harm's way?
They were out of harm's way, yes.
So it's par for the course, really, and it gives, as far as you're concerned, an opening for diplomacy.
It gives an opening for diplomacy. I think that's the right way to put it. And the question is, does that diplomacy really get traction and move to ending this risk of nuclear proliferation? And does it lead as well to broader, a broader ceasefire in the Middle East, including in Gaza?
I'm absolutely here for what our Prime Minister said. It was clear, it was concise, it had clarity to it. It made my heart swell as a Canadian. I like hearing that tone from our Prime Minister, and I want to hear more of it. Thanks so much for watching the show. Now, if you enjoyed what you saw, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another episode of The Ben Mulroney Show.